You just finished. So Miranda just got off air. So these are students from Sacramento.
Oh, fun.
K through 12. We're doing just a little virtual live tour for them.
Fun. That is so cool.
So do you want to talk a little bit about what you do as a reporter on a daily basis?
Yeah, so basically it's my job to inform the community. So I'm always looking for story ideas. If I'm at the grocery store, maybe talking with people in line just to see, what's happening, what people need to know about. So then each day we come to our meeting with three story ideas and we kind of go through, what do we think is important for the day? We come up with our story, we start making calls because you have to find people to talk to, which some days can be kind of difficult with people working, people's schedules. So we do that and you find people to interview, you come up with questions, you go and interview them. And so I'm what you call an MMJ, so multimedia journalist. So I do it all. I write, I edit, and I film. So it's a lot some days, but it's a lot of fun. So I'll go to the story, set up my camera, ask them questions, and then I come back to my computer here and I put it all together. So I just kind of put my story together. It's a minute 30 story, usually just kind of telling people what they need to know for the story. So today my story was about, unfortunately, a shooting that happened. So we spoke with the police officer, we spoke with someone who works nearby who saw kind of what happened. So just talking with them about it. And yeah.
And it can be stressful some days.
It can be stressful some days. The one thing that you need to be prepared for are deadlines. So if you're somebody who's not good with deadlines, that would be something I would say to really work on is just, you have to have your story in for the 4 or the 5 or the 6, and you don't really get more time than that. So
yeah. And just so you guys know, back in SAC, so Miranda was saying she'll come in the morning and they'll have their meeting. Andrea was talking about how they have the meeting at 2 p.m. when she starts her shift. So we have 2 meetings every day, one to start the day at 9:30 and then one in the middle of the day for those later for the night side. She was talking about that one night side reporter that comes in. So the one in the morning is kind of, okay, what are we doing for those 4 to 7 p.m. shows? The one that starts at 2 p.m. is checking in with the reporters, seeing if stories have changed, different things like that. And then talking to the night side reporter about what's on tap. And also if any of the anchors need to do any stories for the night news. So that is pretty much this. Does anyone have any questions for Miranda? I can also answer. Go ahead.
We had one that came in. It was when you're reporting on something like a fire or something a little bit more dangerous, how do you guys stay safe when you're out in the field?
So we're really good with talking with the PIOs. So they work with like the police department, they're the information officer, and they'll kind of tell us, we kind of know who they are, and we go to the scene and we ask them, hey, is it okay to be here? Where would you like us to stand? So it's all about just communicating with them, because obviously if they're fighting a fire or something like that, we don't want to mess with what they're doing because they have a very important job to do. So it's kind of working with them so that they could get their job done and we can do our job as well.
And when you go out on breaking news like that, or just a bigger story, do you sometimes get a photographer most times, or does it just depend?
It depends. It helps if you do have a photographer, especially if you're going live, just because you're trying to get all this information, take it in really quickly so that you could then convey it to your viewers. So it helps to not have to worry about filming as well if you do have the photographer. So it just kind of depends because we're all busy. There's some days there's so much news that people are just running around. So it just depends on the day.
Yeah.